Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Munch Gang. We got a special one for you guys. We got a very good one. We have a returning guest as a co-host today, Mr. Ray Lee.
What's up?
What's up? He's back.
Try not to blow it.
Yeah, try not to ruin it. No, just kidding. But and then our main guest today is somebody you guys might know. If you don't, you're about to learn more about him. Mr. Local Skater, Mr. Iconic Skater in Redding, California. Local legend, I would say.
Oh, man.
Definitely has some history around here.
For sure.
He goes by the name of Tyler Yarnell. Hey, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yep. How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm doing good.
Good. You just, you recently just got married. You had your honeymoon. I know we talked about it a little bit earlier, but I would like to hear more. Where did you go for your honeymoon?
Went to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's my first time out the country, and it was everything that it should be when you think of Mexico and tropical vacation with it was just why
You're on the coast, like the coast. Like
it's a coastal town, and the culture, and I remember like kind of just feeling removed from myself because I've always been in this box, literally and figuratively, of Redding and like and to be out there and like look at the architecture, the culture. It was just very like
eye-opening.
Yeah, man, there's more than just...
I think I felt the same way because I went to China a few years ago, and it's like so different the way people live, you know.
Yeah.
It's cool to see because you hear things through the internet, you know. You're like, oh, China's communist and like all this crazy stuff, but then you go there and everybody's happy,
right?
You know.
Same with Mexico. You think like, yeah, there's poverty in the United States, but people, it's a beautiful city that people are happy, and they're not very... I think maybe there's probably different places in Mexico that you shouldn't be, just like there's probably places in the U.S. that you shouldn't go as well, you know?
Right.
But that place was great, man. We met like locals and went to a local bar, and I wanted to do something outside of the tourist activities, you know?
Did you see any skate parks out there?
I looked it up. I didn't go to it, but I did look it up. I did.
I want to say that might be a dangerous place. I don't know.
I don't know. But then also, like, skateboarding is skateboarding. And I feel like you go there and then you automatically, like, no matter somebody's culture, background, you have something in common with them, you know?
Once they see your tray flips, they're like, oh, this guy's cool. You know? That's funny. That's not like the restaurant Puerto Vallarta, no?
I'm sure that's what it's named after.
Congrats, by the way, dude.
Hey, thank you, Ray. I appreciate it, dude.
That's amazing. You guys been together for a long time, right?
Yeah, we got married on our 10th anniversary.
Oh, wow, 10.
Yeah, I didn't want to remember a second day.
Yeah. That makes it easier for you, for sure.
Yeah, 10th anniversary, we got 2 kids, and it was a big day, and it was celebrated with a bunch of people that I really enjoy having in my life, and some people I wasn't able to. Weddings are expensive, bro.
Oh yeah, I bet.
They're not.
Just thinking about it, I'm like,
they're not cheap, dude. They're not cheap, but it was good, man. It was a good day. Had my best man, Jack
and
He
Thompson.
was there for me, dude. We were talking about it since we were 11. Been like just inseparable, and so now I don't get to see him as often, but I get to talk to him a lot.
Sweet. So you met Jack and Thompson when you were 11?
11 years old, so
Where
I'm 32. At the skate park, man.
Oh,
at the skate park, yeah.
Man, how was it? How'd you guys like figure out you guys were going to be best friends from that day?
They were all better than me. Him and a few other people that he skated with. Jack was good forever. I don't think anybody remembers Jack when I was still pushing Mongo, getting in people's way. Jack was like already like switched from board in the handrail.
Oh, really?
We were kids, dude. Jack's been good for a long time.
That's amazing.
And so I wanted to be good, but I just wasn't yet.
Uh-huh.
And then
you sort of gravitated towards like skating with him so you can progress and get better and better.
Yeah.
And then slowly you guys...
I mean, dude, Jack's been able to tray flip long before when I was dreaming of that trick, Jack was doing them like great too, like really good. So
11 years old, that's so young. You said he was switch front boarding the handrail.
Yeah.
11.
Yeah, he was a little kid with a helmet that was good. I mean, even there's videos from back in the day, like the Johnny's videos and like the old Johnny's videos, and then this crew, they called themselves Sick Juniors.
I've heard about that.
They were putting him in their videos long before I was even a blip on the map of anything. Jack's been getting love from these dudes from Ray, all of them, dude. So
that's sick. I deliver mail, right? And there's this dude that works at this chiropractor building, Dan Miter. Shout out Dan Miter.
Yeah.
But he was telling me, he's like, yo, you should look up my brother. I forget his brother's name, but
Josh
he was
Miter.
Miter, yeah.
Josh is gnarly.
So he was part of that Sick Juniors thing, and
Josh was gnarly, and Justin, yeah.
So that's crazy to me to think that there was that good of skaters even before your guys' time. Because when I started skateboarding, I just noticed that you guys, like through Johnny Rad's or pulling up there and seeing whatever I was seeing out there, and Sick Juniors, wow, that's OG.
They have a video. You might even be able to.
It's on YouTube.
Find it on because bro, there's heavy stuff. It's not like that was progressive. Like now it's heavy.
Yeah, super heavy.
Yeah, sometimes I look back on like even your guys' like yours, Ray's, and I'm like, yo, for that time, that's pro for that time. You know what I mean? Because now times are different. You do like a tray flip down to 10, you're like, oh, that's throwaway footy. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
I think Josh, he front boarded
The CB14.
yeah, back then.
Oh.
Ollied the flight over the rail too.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah, so he did that, but I don't remember. I just heard he did, right? I never saw footage of it. I saw the 14 footage, and then I did the 7+7 over the rail.
Yeah.
But
Let me pull that up real quick. I have it right here in my
Sick.
photo gallery. It's like super old, so the quality's not the best, but
yeah, it's old,
you can
dude.
still see the magic that happened. You already know what that clip is.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later. It's up here. No, that's my China trip. Do you see it, Coy? Oh, right here. Dude, check this out.
Yeah.
So how many stairs was it? It was a 7.
It's a 7+7.
Only a double set.
Double set.
But it's at the CV, Central Valley High School,
Right.
and you ollied over the side of it.
Yeah, over the rail. I went to that high school, so I would look at it every single day, dude.
That's crazy. And I've seen it in person. It's massive.
It's big.
It's scary. And then you got these things on the bottom right here. It's like a random rail, a cone. I think I want to say there was a fire hydrant or something.
Yeah, there's like some kind of something that kind of messes with you, but you pass it, like, but it's still kind of there.
That's a visual mind fuck for
Yeah,
sure. Looking
yeah.
at that thing.
So this is Tyler. Oh, ooh, that is so
Harpy's
crazy.
paws.
Damn.
So what made you come up to mind to like even try that?
Bro, at that age, I was...
How old were you?
17?
17.
I was hucking down stuff, dude.
Were you still... did you graduate already? Or
I think I may have still been going to school there. I can't quite remember. I was young. I was hucking down stuff. We decided to go out there and check it out. I was with I don't know if you guys remember. I had a good friend of mine that was in our little skate crew named Twig, Chris O'Connell. I know Ray remembers him.
Absolutely, yeah.
He was like my counterpart because I was always the kid that would be like, oh, like, I'll try it if you try it. Then I would eat my words. I could never go first, bro.
Oh.
Didn't matter. I just could not.
So this other Chris tried it also?
I would keep my word.
Okay.
If I said I'll try it if you try it, and you try it, like I'll try it, you know?
Wow.
And he was regular and I was goofy, and I remember he tried it. So I was like, all right, you know, you get the first. And it was a heavy drop.
It's almost more than a story, right?
Yeah, it's pretty tall, dude. And I remember the impact being pretty significant. So
Didn't look like it, dude. You
Not
rolled
to
away
you.
from that easy.
bro, that was one of those blackout and you're still on your boards situations. I remember that vividly. I did a second try.
Damn.
Oh, second. Yeah, you kind of have to. You're like,
Yeah.
you either get broke off over.
But Chris threw himself off that shit for like an hour.
Oh,
and he
way.
was like bloody and like battered and like just broke off, and he actually never ended up doing it. He just like, I don't know, because it's like so big. It's not like you ollie, extend, and hit the ground. Like it's a very, you're going down for a minute. You know, I think that was pure luck. Like if you put it in slow mo, I should have got wheel bite like 6 times, but I didn't. Yeah.
6 times.
Yeah.
That's wild. Is that the biggest thing you've ollied, you think?
I think. And then I went over to the 14
that's
right
pretty
after
big,
that,
too.
and then ollied that and fairly quickly. I always wanted to do the rail. I knew I could have. I just never did, and then time passed, and I never got it out the way, because at that point we were doing 10, 12 rails, and it's a perfect 14 rail.
I think I've been there once. I don't try not to even looking at the 14 because it's huge, but I think I remember going up to the rail and like remembering that the rail was wobbly, like a little wobbly, like the top end of it was like off the ground or something.
And the ground's pretty rough. Like it's, if you fall, like you're getting you're getting scraped up pretty good.
The corner of that building too sticks out weird too. So if you bail off to the right, you're right into the wall or that corner.
Yeah.
It's pretty hectic.
Do you remember Elmer, my buddy Elmer, No Roads? He ollied that a few times, I think. He just sent it. I was like, geez.
Yeah, you got to go fast.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to do more stuff, and I just never did it, you know. But yeah, that 757, that was a good one that I always remembered. And, you know, it never made it into my Johnny's part.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got some good clips in that part though.
There's some good ones, yeah.
And you were hucking, dude. Like you were fucking bombing off all kinds of stuff back then.
I really liked to jump off shit.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just ollies. Like I was extremely comfortable like kick flipping off of the biggest thing I could ollie off of.
Totally.
Yeah, speaking of kick flips.
Dude, I could see you doing like an alley-oop backside 180 over that.
Yeah, I would love to.
double
Those I'm
set
comfortable
rail.
with the back 180s.
Big time.
Oh, yeah, your back on 80 were so good. Let's see, kick flip. You already know this clip because you did it yourself. But this is the Courthouse 10 stair, the big one in the front. And this stair is so weird because the runway, there's tiles. They're like brick tiles. They're like hexagonal shape. So you either ride on that or you ride on the side where it's more flat. But there's still like giant cracks on the side. So did you ride on the crack?
I feel like I did. I've skated this a bunch, and I know I've done it both ways. But I feel like you have to ride in the middle of the
lines.
brick. Yeah.
So this was, how old were you when you tried this trick?
Probably same, like 17.
Kickflip.
I was little, bro.
Oh, how old were you?
Little, probably like all like the prime years are like 16 to like 19, you know?
Wow.
So I feel like I remember that day. It took me a few tries, longer than I'd have liked. And I didn't land it like I wish I could have, you know, but I was probably like 17. That was when we used to just get up, bro, we'd be out there skating like 7:38 in the morning and wouldn't stop until...
That's early.
Dude, we would be out there.
Before
and the
breakfast.
Courthouse too, like it opens, so we'd be at the courthouse early, and then we'd be just going all day long.
That's amazing. Yeah, because the tent stair is so weird. The tent stair is like a pretty iconic spot in Reading, of course. Everybody knows that spot. But right at the top of the tent, like the first stair, it like dips down, right? There's like the crack, and then it dips down.
Yeah. And that was, dude, that building was brand new then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like when Ray and them used to skate the courthouse, that wasn't there.
No.
Did you practice on the 7 stair before hitting the 10, or?
At that age, like I just knew I could do, you know?
You're just like...
I was just kick flipping stuff. That was really my comfort trick. I know Coy's got a bunch of comfort tricks, so he knows what I'm talking about.
Sure. Yeah. Tray flips.
Yeah, and tray flips became that later for me. But those were like, I knew that a kickflip was a solid bet. Like if I got ollie it, I was going to be able to kickflip it for sure.
Wow. That's beautiful. Anyways, I want to eat these while they're still warm, but I made these steam buns. I don't know what's inside them. It's a question mark. Hopefully you're not. Hopefully you're not allergic to it. But
no.
They call us Munch Gang for a reason, and I know Ray, you're probably hungry. You've been at the skate shop for all day.
Yeah.
Working hard.
Let's do it, dude.
Let's do it. I'm sure they're still hot.
Oh,
Look at I don't know. Just grab one if you can. Coy, you can have one too.
You said you don't know what's in it?
I have no idea. Probably pork. I'm guessing pork. For, yeah.
Omaboshi plums?
Who knows?
We got red beans.
Oh.
You said interesting.
I think it looks like pork, right? Have you ever had anything like this before?
Nope.
No. This is that authentic you were looking for from in Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah.
It's not Mexican.
Just not Mexican. Just the Asian.
It's like an Asian tamale, bro.
Basically, yeah.
Bomb.
I think in Mien or maybe Laos or something, we call it Kalang Paos, right? You know what those are?
Something.
Is that different? You know what a Kalang Pao is though?
Maybe.
It's like the bigger version of this, but it has, I think, eggs and meat in there.
Maybe something like Kanye sometimes, huh? They used to.
But man, I definitely needed a snack.
Trying to cover this mic while I chew,
I know,
bro.
huh?
Just hear that ragging.
ASMR.
Right?
This is good, though.
Yeah, I'm torn in between because I think I have more viewers through YouTube. So they're like, oh, I love the food stuff. Get more food on there. But then if you're like a podcast person, you only listen to the audio. And you're like, man, I don't want to hear them smacking on just the audio. You know what I mean? Do you listen to podcasts yourself?
Constantly, bro. I'm a truck driver.
Yeah, it just makes your day so much easier.
All I listen to is podcasts. I listen to the 9 Club. It's probably my only escape podcast I listen to. Listen to a lot of true crime.
Oh, really?
A lot of true crime. And then I listen to just some comedy ones to make me laugh. I'm on the road just all the time, dude. Every day, all day.
Let your mind go, yeah.
Yeah. There's only so much music you can listen to.
Yeah, that was me. Like, when I first started just putting, like, earbuds in my ear, I started listening to, like, the same 4 songs all day, you know? And I hated it. I was like, man, I find a new song, and then I get bored of it that same day. I'm like, come on. But, yeah, it's cool. Man, we skipped through, like, the whole beginning of your skate career.
My bad.
Let's go. We just got into it. But, you met Jack at 11, but how long ago before that did you start skateboarding?
I want to say like 5. Like, just like any kid, even my son now, who's 4, everybody's got a skateboard, got a bike, got a scooter. Not everybody, but if you're lucky enough to have those things, that's in that realm, you know? And I had all those. I did them all. I had nobody... So probably like 5, I want to say. But I don't want to like say I started skateboarding at 5. I just started messing around outside.
Just riding.
We didn't have tablets. Had a Nintendo 64, you know? So like... so I played Tony Hawk Pro Skater and I went out front and tried to skateboard, you know?
So did you start out with a Walmart board as well? Or?
Yeah, for sure. There was nobody there to teach me what was acceptable or not, or how to push or not. So I started pushing. I was a Mongo pusher, bro.
That's what's up.
Like a motherfucker too.
With you, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was never a Mongo pusher, but
I had no idea what Mongo meant.
Yeah,
I
you're
just
just
pushed
like
my skateboard, dude.
Just
is
means go
comfortable.
fast.
Yeah, exactly.
So how long after that did you start like actually like going out skating the streets, and like what was the big change that made you kind of evolve into a street skater? I would
The
say.
way I remember it, always in the neighborhood. And then I think at some point I started going down to the skate park. I grew up on Shasta View. A lot of my friends that I still know to this day, we all lived in that same area. And I think when I tell people I skateboard, everybody is like, oh, I used to skate. Like, that's the general consensus that they get, you know? But, like, I'm a grown-ass man, and it's, like, still all I think about, you know? So, but I think my mom really didn't like me. She was strict. She didn't like me going just, like, skating. She wanted to know where I was at. I couldn't just be like, hey, Mom, I'm going to go skate street, you know?
Right.
There was no cell phones.
Yeah, there was.
So, like, I mean, there was, but, like, not really. You know what I mean?
Not accessible to everybody.
My parents barely had their first cell phone by the time I was, like, 12, you know? And then, so I would go to the skate park.
All the way, you skated all the way from Shasta View.
My grandpa would drop me off. My mom would drop me off. I would be in like fucking Hawaiian shorts and an orange helmet. Pushing mom. I swear, and I was just in people's way. But I still remember those days. I remember Ray. I remember I remember Nick Silva. I remember Ross.
Yeah.
As a kid, right? And so like Jack got attention from them. And so, like, me and Jack were the same age, and he's just a good dude. And I just don't remember, like, the exact, but I just started, I think back then, they would just be like, hey, you want to go skate street? And I would probably, like, lie to my mom and go to a couple spots.
Yeah. But then you won't be back till, like, after night.
Yeah, and there's, like, no way, she was just, like, not with it. And I think I started going back then and be like, stay the night at your friend's house, And so I remember we had this friend, Josh. He would...
Josh Duggan?
Yep. His parents just... didn't care what we did, so we could just like go stay at Josh's and go skate street all night. And
nice. So you were mainly at the skate park for the first like couple years of your...
I stayed at that, dude. I would just go there. That skate park probably has a little hand in every negative thing in my life.
Yeah. That's funny. You mentioned Nick Silva, and Nick Silva was a pretty iconic skater back in the day too, because a lot of people, at least for me, like he was a big name because he had a couple sponsors, and maybe after that time, but he ended up getting sponsored by like Nike, and then I think it was like maybe Venture or some type of truck.
Yeah.
And so he was older than you, I'm guessing, and you showed up at the park, and he's just killing it.
And he was never Ray. I didn't really know Nick. I went on a skate trip with Nick, but he was so like to this is how I remember, right? He was so cool and good. They're like, what did I have to say to him? You know what I mean?
His style was crazy.
And like
pants.
the way he carried himself. You know what I'm saying? So like here, I'm like way younger. He would go on skate trips with Josh and us. I went to Frontline in Woodland. Nigel's parents' old skate park. Nigel Houston's parents used to own an indoor skate park. We would see Nigel.
Is that the same as Epic Skate Park or something different?
It was different. It was called Frontline. Ray knows what I'm talking about. It was a skate park in Woodland, and we'd go there with Nick. But, like, I swear it was weird. Like, I'd be in the same car with him, but, like, I just wouldn't really talk to dude.
Yeah, because were you, like, starstruck? You're like,
and, like, I just was barely getting... I was probably still pushing Mongo when I was by myself, dude. You know what I mean? And just pushing regular in front of people. And, just starting to learn stuff. Stuff was clicking. I do remember a specific time when stuff started to click. And, things started to make sense. And so like I was learning shit at a rapid rate, and then people were like, I remember people like kind of tripping that like, oh, okay, the last time they saw me I was like, I couldn't do shit, and now the thing it excelled very fast.
Yeah, you fell in love, and then it just changed everything, especially when you see these older cats like killing it. You're like, dude, I want to be this guy. You know what I mean? That's kind of what like you guys were to the younger, like me and Hunter and the younger generation. Like, dude, that guy got the craziest pop. I don't know how he pops past knee high. It's wild, but it definitely helps with like improvements, and it helps with your goals. You're like, dude, I want to be. That looks so cool. I want to do that, and it's pretty cool. So I'm kind of lost right here, but so you skated with Nick. You did all that.
So you asked about the Jack thing, and so like basically like I don't remember. So me and Jack just kind of like we were all like we hung out with Josh, and then me and Jack were kind of there, and then I think at some point we just kind of like became better friends. And then he just, you know what, dude, Jack, to this day, dude, I think that Jack is probably one of the best I've ever skated with. People don't know, dude. There's not enough footage out there to show the things that I've seen that dude do. And he pushed me, and we would push each other. Our games of skate used to last for an hour, dude. Oh. He was so good, dude. He was very humble to this day. But he's just so slept on. And I really think Jack was one of those dudes that really could have taken it far, because he got skateboarding. Skateboarding was easy. Like, he would think of he's like a Zach. Like,
he got it down to a science.
He had it, bro. Yeah, he would think of something and be able to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like something he'd never do. And so that pushed me, right? So that was my ace. He was my ace dude to this day. And so that's kind of just like our relationship was built around. I would just pick him up, we go skate, and we'd play. We could skate anywhere. It was raining. We would just go get a flat bar and drop it under a cover, and me and him could just go for hours with nobody else. You know what I mean?
Learning new tricks and
just pushing each other and just playing skate, and just it was just for the love of it, dude. And there's probably plenty of things I've done for only one time that were around Jack, and so that was my boy, and still is. Like I said, he was the best man at my wedding. So we were tripping on that when we were there, and I talked to him yesterday. So that's 21 years I've known that dude.
21 years. So from there,
amazing, dude.
Yeah.
So once you started picking up skating, picking them up, you said, and how did that evolve to, you had a skate crew called NBHS, and NBHS was called, what was it?
Neighborhood Skaters.
Skaters. I always thought it was Neighborhood Skate Crew.
It was Neighborhood Skaters.
Oh, wow. And who was part of that?
Me, Jack, Josh Duggan, Chris O'Connell, which was Twig. That was basically us. We had Jake Allen. Jake's good now.
Oh,
bro.
Jake was part of that.
He
too?
wasn't really, but he was around us.
Uh-huh.
I trip on Jake and how good he is. It took him 20 years.
He's smooth.
But he kills it, dude.
Yeah.
He's so sick.
Just took a new skate park.
Yeah, he's good. I tripped out on him. I was like, whoa. But he, those were the people we were around, and we had a friend named James
I
Helser.
remember James.
Yeah, I have no clue where he's at now.
Wasn't he like an Anderson cat though?
Yeah, but he was like started kind of out with us, and that Jake Allen and him used to be really good friends.
They had the purple slushies. Do you remember purple slushies? It's like Anderson. There's I remember those. I think it was James Helser, and then there's a Black James, and then there's a couple other guys, but I just vaguely remember it. But
I was never an Anderson cat, but yeah. So bro, I mean, we pushed this shit heavy. That NBHS, that we repped it. That was our thing. But it was back in the day of there was Sick Juniors, there was these little. And I think that spread out across skateboarding at that time. People had little crews,
Yeah.
You guys were killing it though.
Yeah, and
sure.
And Twig was really good too, dude.
Yeah.
So we all looked up to Ray and all of them dudes fucking crazy, dude. I tell Jack all the time, I'm like, bro, I wish you could see Ray skate that skate park right now. It's like a time capsule, dude. It is.
Yeah.
It's like watching him skate it 15 years ago.
You still got it.
Just trying, man. Still pushing.
Sure, no,
For sure.
I mean, bro, it's fucking there.
Yeah. Just a couple days ago, you were doing something over the just olling over the pyramid again, long ways.
I'm
like, holy crap, man. He's going full speed.
Slow. Too slow.
You
I can't run fast
sprint, dude.
Yeah, I did. I tried, man.
Do you remember having the barrier at the other end? He used to set up the road barriers. He'd set it on its side, but on the other end.
Why?
He would back 180 over it with a as if somebody was ollieing over it from this way, but he would hit it from long ways, back 180.
Just to make it more difficult or something?
Yeah.
Just doing it, man. I don't know. I can't do it anymore though. I tried. It's not worth it.
I've never I've never done it.
You could totally. I
probably could have.
I bet
at
you
some
could
point.
do it today.
I don't know,
Man.
Pre-injury.
Yeah.
So we mentioned on Ray's podcast, Ray, he was talking about, I brought you up, and he's like, yeah, I was kind of the helping hand in bringing you guys into the Johnny Rad skate team.
100%, dude.
Do you remember that?
Like it was yesterday, dude.
So were you that skater that was like, yo, Eric, or at the time it might have been Eric's dad, was it?
No, it was Eric.
Okay.
I was that annoying kid bringing him all my footage every time I did a trick. Because we stayed in the shop. We would just watch skate videos in the old shop. And I was I remember, dude, there was a specific person that he would always be like, bro, he doesn't want to see that shit. And I'm like, bro. Every time, but I was getting better fast, so I would ollie the 10. That was a big deal to me. I was like, Eric, check this out. And I remember my 17th birthday, right? I was drunk at a party and I got a Facebook message. And I know Ray was in his ear. At this point, I was Jack was already on the team. Jack was there. He had been, right?
So who was on the team prior to you? Was it Jack, Ray, was Nick on the team?
Maybe Nick always had undercover
for sure he's family.
Undercover sponsor.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And he could go up in there after not being around for a year and just
yeah. Same with Toshi's the Godfather.
So it was Jack and the regulars, right? I believe. Okay. So but Jack was, and then I remember Eric sent me a message on Facebook and I just checked. got on somebody's desktop at their mom's house.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, party going on, and he sent me a long message, dude, and it was really like, so, because, bro, when I say, like, I don't know if people have that now, but, like, back then we would pass around the Johnny Rad's VHS tapes when I was a kid, and I would watch, like, 120 Degrees, and I would have these parts, dude, and it was just, like, then you get to go see these people at the skate park, and Johnny Rad's was, like, a big deal. You know what I mean?
I remember those days.
It was a big deal. So, like, and then my boy was on it, and I was around, and so Eric just sent me this long message, like, happy birthday, I've been watching you I remember the premise of it, and about how, like, he's been seeing, me get all this, right? So basically offered me a spot on the team, and I was like drunk at this party, and I was like, yeah.
Did you tear up or anything?
I was just so stoked, bro. It was like the pinnacle right there. You might as well.
That's amazing. Like a shop sponsor back then meant so much. Dude.
When I was a kid, and I've been trying, dude. This is like, that was like goals right there, And I know that Ray, I remember him. Maybe I knew Ray was in his ear, or he told me Ray was in his ear, but I knew Ray had a hand in that for sure.
What'd you tell him?
Same with Jack and you both, was just, Eric, get on it, sponsor him.
Get this in.
These guys are ripping, and get them on board.
Yeah.
Bugging them all the time, and even in a way too, like, I want people to skate with and rep with,
Yeah.
And
so in a way, they kind of pushed you to go a little bit further too at the time.
Yeah, absolutely. You're talking about like the time periods of age. So when you guys were super young, you're not really on the radar. You're just the skate park kids coming up, and we were back at that time, like we were talking earlier, the skate park was way different. It was rough and fucked up. It was a gnarly place, but always seeing them as a skate park kid in helmets and rolling around pushing Mongo, sick, and then all of a sudden it's just like, whoa,
Yeah.
all right, this kid's getting gnarly,
Right.
And,
was there a defining trick that you noticed? It's like,
well, it was seeing the clips that would come out, which, at that time, it wasn't that long ago, but things were way different. So seeing a clip was like few and far between.
Yeah.
And
Twig had a Canon GL2. So that was like the VX. We had like a good camera.
nice.
We had like a good wave, so we would film. He's got a stash wherever he's at, dude.
Yeah.
Has got a stash of tapes that never made it, because we were gonna make an NBHS video and
Yes.
we never did.
I looked on YouTube. I've been watching it for years, and you guys had NBHS trailer 1 and 2, I think.
We had
Right.
2 filmers. We had this dude Chris Merkel, and he would he was so down. He would just we'd call him at 10 p.m. bro, and be like, hey, we're gonna go hit this spot. He would smash. He was older than us. So he's got a bunch of little kids in his van. Come pick us up. I want to go do this trick. And he had a VX, so we had 2. But I remember Ray. I know he had a hand in that, right? And it was just, that shit felt good. The Johnny Rads thing.
I bet. Yeah.
It felt like we made it, bro. And then Eric was just always Eric was hard to read. You would show him a clip, but he'd been seeing dope shit for years. You know what I mean? He was hard to impress him. I do remember doing these contests, and they would bump up my age group when I was 16, and they'd make me compete in the older.
Was it before NS3 or?
It was those things.
Oh, it was NS3.
I don't know if that's what they called them, but it was like the tri-county fucking.
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah.
And they would make me compete against Ray and them. I did well in contests, and so me and Jack I performed really good when people were watching, when I had a lot of pressure and attention, and then Jack wouldn't. Jack was way better than me, bro, and he would come into these contests and just choke,
Yeah, I can see that.
I would do well. I would just anything. I would try something, and for some reason I could I would be on my board still for days.
It's almost like Nigel Houston. You're Nigel Houston. It almost pumps you up to land the trick even.
Yeah,
more.
I landed some wild shit that shouldn't. Even recently, dude, that contest last year, landed shit that takes me way longer than I landed a trick the first time ever at that contest last year that I'd never done, and landed a second try.
At the new park?
Yeah.
Dude, I wish I could have been there for that.
It was sick,
That would
dude.
have been awesome to watch.
It was sick.
Hey, I gotta say too, you were talking about a pivotal moment or a trick or something. Mm-hmm. The one thing I was thinking of was dude, you guys would fuck this spot up, and it was one of the oldest ones in Reading. Really, the spot's mega old, and it's behind the 99-cent store.
Oh yeah.
That was the footage that I'd see you guys would be back there, and I know that I'd skated back there with you guys before too, and I was just like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Is it the island gap? We call it island gap. The one where you ollie off the loading dock onto that little island.
You talking about up on Dollar Tree?
Dollar
Dollar
Tree.
Tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, with,
that.
with the rail.
I know the island gap though.
You got the low drop, you know, the angle iron ledge, and then you got the tall one with the dumpster and the rail up there. Dude, these dudes seemed like they were there all the time.
Yeah.
And just hucking.
Yeah, Jack was, once again, dude.
Nollie hard flip.
Jack was a wild man.
A monster.
Yeah, effortless, really.
He's the first one I knew that could flip into stuff, like on a serious level. Like he would just be cruising the park, nollie heel flip, back lip, shove.
Jeez.
Effortless though. Like that was like his little like, you know, like almost like you see Zach now kind of fucking around and it doesn't make any sense, like because the tricks that he's doing are like way too hard for him to be that relaxed, you know.
Yeah.
That's how Zach was, or Jack, and it was, and I had my tricks that I was consistent with, but Jack was my motivation, right? He was the one that taught me like nollie flip crooked grinds and nollie big spin, like back lips and back nose blunts and stuff.
Did you ever 3-flip nose blunt? The rail at the park?
No, I probably could have 3-flip overcooked it because there was a time in my skating when I was really, really good at shove it nose grinds and shove it overcooks. Like I was thinking about that the other day. Like I can't shove it now because my tray flips took that scoop over, you know, so it'll turn over. But I used to shove it nose grind like extremely easy.
Yeah.
The handrail and all that. It was like my shit. So I probably could have easily, but I think the shove its and the tray flips were in time were like when I was shoving nose grinding, I wasn't tray flipping like I was, and once I started tray flipping like I was, I think that I messed up that whole process.
Yeah.
Wow.
Boy's good, man. Yeah. Boy's good.
We're going to have to take a break. I got to pee, and my camera's going to overheat because it's been going for 35 minutes.
All right.
You got those NA beers, dude?
Finally got a sponsor. Is the back of your phone broken? Maybe you forgot to check your lap before getting out of your car. Or maybe you accidentally dropped your phone filming a skate trick. Or maybe you got angry and threw it on the ground. Well, thanks to our sponsor, Lightning Phone Repair, they can fix that right up for you. Not only do they fix iPhones, they also fix Androids and iPads. And they don't call it Lightning Repair for nothing. They can have your phone fixed in a jiff. And I'm not talking about peanut butter. I'm talking within an hour or less. In fact, if you ever decide to get your phone fixed because you're tired of glass splinters, go to Lightning Phone Repair and mention Munch Gang to get $20 off your next phone repair.
Okay, so after you got that message from Jack on your birthday,
Eric,
I mean, my bad.
Shout out Haskell, by the way.
Yeah, dude.
Shout out Eric.
More of that guy.
If you're listening, come get on the podcast, please.
We miss Eric.
Yeah, yes, we do. So when you first went back to the shop and talked to him in person after he pretty much sponsored you, how did that go? Did he give you a couple free boards or?
He did, and one thing that people don't have the luxury of right now, and hopefully in the future, was that Eric had shop boards.
Yeah.
Eric had it dialed right. He had lots of shop merch and shop boards, and those boards were the best boards, dude. The shape was just so good. So we got those for free. To an extent, like Eric would try to take care of us. I was a kid, bro. I was like, yo, like free shit, you know what I mean? But like he had a business to run. But yeah, the boards, dude, and I got used to just having new boards. He just shot us boards.
Did you get the boards with the skull and like the shield? Those Johnny's boards?
Yep, I had those, and then like they were black. I remember they were black, and they had just the best. Wherever he got them, the shape, I couldn't get it. I think the next best thing, if he didn't have shop boards, was Expedition and Organica.
Yeah.
Those shapes, but it was a specific like shape, and that's when I started to get like you hear now, you watch like pros and they're very like particular about their shapes.
Yeah, they're like, I want the 30th
Right.
deck out of the batch or something like that.
And like they have like they custom make a shape, and now they're getting even more particular where there's like twin tails, twin noses, all of this. And I was very like habitual in what I skated and how it allowed me to perform. It wasn't just a skate. Like I couldn't just get any skateboard, and it, and then like certain wheels and certain grip tape, that type of stuff. And I tried to like replicate that nowadays, and it just didn't.
Yeah, and I want to bring back up, with those boards. Back in the day, man, boards were so much smaller. What size boards were you skating?
775. I started 7.5, so 7.75 was like. So now it's just, I can't get with the 8.5s, bro. I can't.
Isn't that crazy how it's evolved?
Yeah.
Because I remember my buddies would be like, dude, I just switched up to an 8. And then you're like, I'm not going to do that. I like to keep my flip tricks, you know?
Yeah. I think I went to an 8 for a minute, and then I went down to a 7.8. And then now, I think I'm at 8.25.
Yeah.
That's it, though. That's it.
I'm not going any higher. That's for
it.
sure.
Yeah.
I can't, dude.
Especially for flip tricks.
And it only because you couldn't find, like, 8s are what 7.5s you can't find them.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody got them in stock. I'd go into Concrete Lodge and he'd be like, I don't have any 8s. I really like reels now. And he would just be like, all of them would be 8.25. Like, damn.
Yeah. That was a big change.
825 and up now.
I'm pretty sure I got you, dude.
Yeah, he got you.
Shout out Ray's Board Shop.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, the boards were so different. I loved the boards. Remember back then when they had like ATMs?
Yeah.
ATMs were the shit.
ATMs and mini logos, bro.
Yeah. You're like, I
Sugar
can't
too,
afford a
huh?
pro deck.
Yeah.
Sugar skateboards?
Sugar was
Sugar.
good. I love
Status,
Sugar.
dude.
Consolidated.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Consolidated, yeah. It's the shit.
Or 1031s. What was that? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something. I just vaguely remember that one, but I always bought that one.
I always had ATMs and mini logos, but mini logos were like, the shape was terrible.
Yeah, hella flat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was super flat. And I'm a concave dude. I like,
scoop.
yeah, I like my concave, and I like my noses, and I like, man.
And they snap so easily. I feel like mini logos.
Mm-hmm.
They're like a weaker wood or something like that.
Did you guys skate the Shevets?
Yeah,
Those ones?
long time ago.
Yeah.
Those were like when I first started skating. There was a deck called Shove It. Yeah.
Those are pretty terrible, too.
Any other price point blanks, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, Eric had the board game like on lock, and I could see that's what's lacking, right? And I know it takes money, and it's a process, right, to do that. And when you're young, you don't like realize. But like back then, he had shop decks, dude. So it acts as a promotion and branding, and then it's like and they were good. That was one thing too. But yeah, man, Johnny Rads, dude.
It created. So after you got sponsored, what was the goal after that? Did you guys plan on making like a skate video? Well, you guys did make a skate video.
Made a skate video. We were always filming. Eric started to try to get me hooked up. I know Jack was getting flow from Satori.
Satori.
Probably,
What's
yeah.
Satori?
Mm-hmm. It's a wheel company. It's like a hippie wheel company, and Jack was a little hippie for a minute. And Satori, and I think he got some other stuff. And then I got some Hubba wheels that Eric got me. And, you know, we would just take skate trips to San Francisco and UC Davis and just try to, like, because back then was the era of, like, you had to make a sponsor me tape. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
And I think but you know what it was, dude? We just did it because we really just fucking loved to skate as long as I can remember. I've only loved to skateboard forever. I'm 32 years old. I probably watch 2 hours of skateboarding a day on YouTube. My wife hates me, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I just really love skateboarding. And I think that's what it all came down to. And I think there was a time for a minute there where Eric was in our ear telling me and Jack, because we liked to party, bro. And the skate park was a party. Usually the party started at the skate park. And I hung out with people that probably weren't all into the greatest of things, but they were the people I looked up to, and I think that's a lot of skateboarding, you know? Mm-hmm. It's one of the few professional, you can be a professional athlete, but you can like party, you know? They're not on you.
And skateboarding, it also teaches you like street smarts, you know? Like some people don't ever learn street smarts, and skateboarding teaches you like, I don't know if we've talked about this before, but like work ethic, because you're literally trying the same trick over and over all day, and
Teaches you life lessons for sure.
Yeah, trying to perfect it, and then you think about it in a work way. You're like, dude, if I just keep doing this, and I'll get better. And it definitely creates like a personality, or like it helps with you just being a stronger person. And yeah,
I keep fucking this cord up right now. No, Eric was in our ear. I remember vividly him telling us like, yo, like, because we would be up in the shop after a long night drinking, or we'd always be stoned, and he would tell us like, don't fuck this up, dude, you guys are good, like, don't just, and you know what, he was speaking from experience of watching generations of people fuck it up, you know?
That's
like,
right.
Yeah, you know,
For sure.
Looking back, so like he was just like really, but he was trying not to be too in our business. And he would just tell us like, yo, you guys gotta chill, bro. I would be up, I remember doing these contests, I'd be up all night on just, you know, just on some fucking party and stuff, have a contest at like 9:30 in the morning, and I would win. But like, just very poor like practices in terms of like what was important. And I think Eric saw it coming from a mile away, where it was like, you know, you skate and you party, you go out skating all day, you get some clips, you get to celebrate and party that night. And that's what we did. And then slowly that shift started to happening, and like the partying became a lot more than the skating, you know?
Yeah.
And then that was easy to do at the skate park. You could just party at the skate park. So like we were still present and still like skating, but I used to, so like me personally, right? I was not the one that I could not skate. I could not function. If I smoked weed, I was done, right? A lot of people could smoke weed and skate. It made Jack really good, and his style could get lax, and he would just kind of like flow, but for me, it would make me revert back to a 5-year-old, dude. I could not, right? So like I could be in a room full of people, you know, smoking weed, and I would just, I'm good. Like skateboarding was like priority number one. If I wanted to have any kind of a good day, I was not going to smoke at all until I was done skating.
Right.
And as soon as that dynamic shifted, that's when I think, looking back, is when things started to kind of like go downhill.
Yeah. So if it weren't for skateboarding, I wrote it up there, what do you think you'd be doing if it weren't for skateboarding? You don't know. Well, it's weird to imagine your life without skateboarding.
That was always the plan.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I ended up doing what I do now. Yeah. Just need money. You get to a point where you gotta find a job. You know what I mean?
Like trying to make a living over here.
Yeah. I always thought if I wasn't like a sponsored or pro skateboarder, that I wanted to be in the industry somehow. Because that's all I get. That's all I get joy from, right?
Yeah.
My job is cool. I found a job that I don't hate. I really don't mind it. I think I get to like vibe out in a truck and listen to podcasts and be by myself, and you know what I mean? I think it's ideal, and I get paid well. But skateboarding is just like it's just what it was for me. So I love that Ray is doing this now. It's literally like, man, that's the best thing. When I told Jack that, he was like, nothing makes me happier than that, to hear that, dude. And that's just the best, you know?
Shout out Ray's Board Shop.
Yeah.
It's too cool, man.
It's the best, dude.
Yeah.
And the difference that skateboarding has made, because back then everybody hated skateboarding, mostly businesses, right? They're like, oh, that's a punk dude. Even like people at school would be like, oh, they're into. If you're a skateboarder, then you're automatically assumed to be doing like drugs or drinking or all this other stuff.
For sure.
Yeah, but then now skateboarding's like, we're in the Olympics. You know, it's making people happy, and we're building new skate parks, and it's evolving.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's always been there, though, you know? I mean, the stigma is real, and, you know, there's, what do you call it, just a bad apple in the bunch always. But, I mean, skateboarding's done nothing but build community since the day it started.
Right.
You know? It's amazing.
I wouldn't be here without skateboarding. I don't think any of us would be.
Nah. I don't even know what, you know, and now I got kids, and all I can do is hope that they
Do you ever plan on putting them on a board?
My son's got a board.
Oh man, your guys' session in the park was the best.
It
dude.
makes me so happy, dude. But he's at that age now where, and I gotta let him explore everything, you know.
Right.
And if he takes to skateboarding,
Beautiful
thing, right? He's grown up around skate videos. He gets to see his dad skate. That's the biggest thing, is that I want him to see me do it, right? Like, I always thought it was so cool when kids had parents that skated or were like old school skaters and had, you know what I mean? I was like, man, you guys are so lucky. So he's going to have that. And if he takes to anything, bro, great. But if it's skateboarding, that's the best thing I can ask for. That's what's sucking with this injury right now, is I can't go skate with, or like, I'm getting to the point, but for a minute I just couldn't. I got on my board and broke my ankle 3 weeks later.
Right. What were you trying again? You were. Do you want to talk about that?
Oh my god.
Ray was there.
Oh, you saw like the actual.
I don't know if we should even. Well, you got to talk about it, dude. But the whole scenario of those morning sessions is fucking cursed.
That's what gets you. When,
Cursed, bro.
Yeah.
It's the things that you don't even like, the easy things that don't even affect you.
And there was a lot more. So yeah, I broke it on an ollie, bro, off of that little A-frame. To put it in perspective, right? I trust myself with that exact ollie 100 out of 100 times.
Right.
The same way if you went to walk to your mailbox and you trust yourself to take every step.
Yeah.
Swear to God, bro. So like, that was not a non-issue. But having said that, I forgot my skateboard that morning. Mm-hmm. I wanted to skate. I didn't have a lot of time. Josh Sharp had a rolled ankle. Charlie had a broken ankle. Ray and me were the only ones that were not injured. I asked Josh if I could skate his board. He was like, sure, go for it, right? Stepped on it. I was like, nope, not this one, you know?
Yeah.
Trucks were looser than, and I'm like way heavier than him, you know? So the board was, I tried to ollie it and the tail didn't even pop. It was just, everything was wrong with it, right? So what I should have done is just sat there.
Flipped it. Because you.
I should have just sat there and just talked to everybody, and because I knew, so I was trying to like ride around, but the trucks were so loose. I was doing a couple flat ground kickflips. They were terrible. Everything was all bad, right? And then we're talking to Charlie about how his ankle's doing. He's in a boot, right? Mm-hmm. Then I'm like, all right. So I'm cruising around, and I go talk to this dude, Justin Orr, which is actually in some of those NVHS videos. And so he was there randomly that day. And I'm talking to him, and I'm like, yeah, man, like, I just got over it. So I had just rolled my ankle a few weeks prior. I'm like, I'm just getting over this rolled ankle. Man, Charlie's injured. I'm talking about injuries with this dude, right?
Yeah.
I turn around, and I'm just going to ollie the A-frame.
Over the rail or just like
Just flat.
from bump
just
to bump?
over to flat.
To flat. Okay.
And I fucking break my ankle. Like, literally, like, go from talking about it, like, it was just very, like, and so, like, when I fell, so, like, picture, I didn't roll it. So when I didn't pop, right? I tried to pop, it didn't pop, so it was kind of hovering under my feet. So when I wanted to bail, the board was under me. So, like, I tried to step, so I took 1 foot off, 1 foot stayed on the board, and then I lost balance, so I slipped back and sat on my foot, but my ankle was, so your foot sits on the ground like this, my foot was like this, and I sat on it. And I remember thinking, this didn't just like instantly. I was like, that didn't just fucking happen. And I turned over, and my ankle was like basically still flat to the ground. And I told him, I was like, bro, I just broke it. And they were all like,
oh. Was it like, were you still able to control it, or was it like just
done.
locked in?
It was
there?
completely disconnected.
Flopping,
Yeah,
bro.
Eesh.
I could feel like all the bones in there moving around. They're like, you sure? I'm like, yep, dude. It was hurting. It was like shock and disbelief, and like,
What?
I also drive for a living, you know.
Right.
So I was just like, I remember, and I would get hurt, so I'd always call she was my fiance at the time, and I would always call her and be like, hey, I fucked this up. So like, and a couple of times I really thought I fucked something up, and I went to the hospital to get an x-ray just to make sure, dude, you know. And so I called her, I was like, yo, I broke my foot. She was like, are you sure? And I was like, 100% sure. Like, I could feel the bones in there moving around, and it was like, it was flopping, bro. It
wasn't like a compound fracture, was it?
It was not compound. It was Ray and Josh drove my car home, and Charlie backed his. Picture this, right? So we get to the hospital. I got one dude in a boot currently,
Yeah.
pushing me in a wheelchair into the hospital. And they're like, what's wrong? And I'm like, my foot's broken. You know? And they probably just looked at us like these two grown-ass men with these skateboard habits, you know, like,
Fuck.
oh, and Charlie stayed there with me till they came and got me, but they came and got me fairly quick, and then they told me, they were like, you know, you really did it in. I broke so there's 3 bones that make up your ankle. I broke them all, right? Which is the worst you can do. There's degrees how severe you can break that specific break, right? If you get in a car accident, it could shatter. Mine was pretty clean, but I broke everything, right? So
did they have to put like not staples, but like a rod in there or anything like that?
Yeah. I have a rod and 8 screws all around. And so it just kind of like, I started looking up pros that had injuries, trying to find somebody that has had the same injury as me. And Tori Pugwell has one, and recently too. Yeah. They come back from them. And to me, bro, in my brain, I wasn't like sitting on the couch depressed. I was just like, you know, it is what it is. It happens. Now, how can I come back from it? And so I was hoping. That was in September. I got my surgery in October. It's been a while, dude. And it's not all the way there. I'm able to work and walk and go to the gym. But like, as far as doing, like I can ollie, but I skated at the shop one day, and it just was not. I don't know how to not do tricks, bro. I don't know how to take it easy. I don't know how to go and be a spectator. I really don't. And it's a terrible trait, right? But I just I get pumped up by other people skating. So when I see Koi killing it, when I see them killing it, I want to join. Otherwise, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing here. Even though it's not really like they're all my homies and I want to kick it and hang out but I really just like have an internal battle with like not being able to jump up and do what I want to do, and you know, and I was learning tricks when I broke it, dude. I was like finally like I went 10 years without skateboarding, right? So I was getting back, and I was feeling good, and I was learning new stuff, and like things were going good. And
back 180 nose grind, back 180 out.
Yeah,
that was sick.
Back 185-0.
It was, huh?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Dude, that was gnarly.
And like my back, I've never had back over crooks, dude. Never once have I even done one. Like
that rail is so tall, dude. It's crazy.
I was just so this really like. But you know what though? I told my doctor, I told the surgeons, I told them all. I said like, look, here's my goal. Fuck getting back to work. I know I'll be able to drive a truck. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I want to skateboard at a level that like I feel. I want to jump off stuff. This is what I do. This is where I want to be. And they were like, okay, you know, like luckily I have good insurance. I got a good surgeon. Now I'm in a sports physical therapy to get to strengthen and condition my ankle to start really like, because the surgeon was like, you can go jump off whatever you want right now. It's not going to break again. You know, it's reinforced and healed and it's great. He was like, so.
What was the estimated time when you initially asked them, like, how long before I can start skating again?
They don't know, but they're like, 6 months. I was off of it for 3 months. I couldn't walk. And then I went back to work in December. And so since December, I've been walking. And it's slowly getting better. And so then they have another option, right? If it still bothers me after a year since the surgery, I can get another surgery and get all the metal out of it.
I've heard about that, yeah.
And he told me, he said, usually the people that get the metal out of it are the more active people that want more out of their ankle than to just everyday life, you know? And He was like, and that's always an option, and I'm not against it. But before I go have them cut into my ankle and take these screws out of my bone again, I'm going to make sure that that's like
the final.
That I've exhausted all other. I got all this physical therapy, got my ankle as strong as it can be, and it still hurts to skate, and then I'm going to get the metal out, you know?
I've heard from like listening through the 9 Club, like a couple skaters on there were saying it was a better option to get the rod out.
John D'Lo, huh?
I think Justin Eldridge too, maybe. Well, some of them, and I don't know. It's up to you.
But it's also like taking more time off work.
Totally.
When I broke my ankle, my daughter was like 3 months old. No, she was like 9 months old. So I had this baby that couldn't walk that needed me to like. I couldn't carry her, bro. You know what I mean? It was just wild. So But that's the most recent, and now, so I'm really happy you guys asked me on here. Skateboarding still, dude, I'm all about it. I may have been kind of absent recently, but that's basically why. It's because I really don't know, like, how to go to the skate park and not skate.
Yeah.
I saw Koi one day, and I feel very out of place sitting there. I do, dude.
Were you there when Charlie broke his?
I missed that day. I came late.
Okay, yeah. Because I was going to say, I was like, if you were there, you should tell Frankie about how... I think it's cursed.
He broke it the same way, but his break wasn't as bad, but same...
The same A-frame?
No, different obstacle. Ollie.
He didn't even... No, he didn't even ollie. He, like, rolled into a bank, like a little bank. Uh-huh. Just rolled into it and slipped out, sat on his foot. Oh. And I saw him do it the same way I saw you on your ollie. And he's just sitting there, and he goes, "Hey, man, does my ankle look weird?" And I was like, "Well, does it look weird to you?" And he's like, "Well," and moves it, and it just fucking falls apart. And I'm like, no, put it back. Stick it back in there.
Look like a fish out of water or something.
It was terrible, but he got the bone set and wrapped him up. And then, so he'd come by, and be like, "I'm going to support you guys. I want to hang out, in the morning." And, all right, cool. You break yours. And...
How long after?
I mean, I love
He
you both for this, but I was talking to Josh about it. I was like, no fucking way should they be here right now. No, we're gonna show up for the next session. And me and Josh were just like, so we got the youngest, the second youngest down. Josh, you're next, and then me. It's like, no way, dude.
I'm thinking right now. Hopefully, you guys don't bring that curse over to us.
That's all. Enjoy the
sessions,
sessions, dude. But I'm not gonna make it, man.
Let's skate after
next,
12.
bro.
Dude, my whole life, jumping off of stuff like that, and I break it on a ollie, on flat, essentially. Koi seen me tray flip that thing, like, second try, like, I can...
Right.
and I broke it on an ollie.
Yeah.
It was like 7 o'clock in the morning too. It was a terrible way to start my day.
Did you mention the you were talking about it was Josh's board, but something was up with that board?
I don't want to put dude on blast, right? It was somebody that's prevalent, and he's like trying to get a hustle, and he like gave Josh a board to skate, and Josh was already like, he was like, "Yo, like I just rolled my ankle on this." Josh told me that's right. Josh told me the board was cursed. Yeah. And then I broke my ankle. And then I'm on the ground, and all I see out of like my peripheral, right? Like I'm still in like kind of shock. And I see Josh focus the board. He just snapped it, dude.
End it, dude. End it.
Thank goodness.
I saw him this morning. I pulled into the car wash right as he was. We pulled in like this.
Me and him were driving side by side when I was driving over here.
Really?
I thought he was coming over here.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I told him I was doing this. He said he was going to hike Castle Craigs. I told him I wanted to go skate today because I was doing some ollies. My foot's not hurting as bad. I probably shouldn't push it too, because if it's getting better, I don't want it to
prolong the process.
Yeah, for a minute their ollies were hurting. Yeah. Like I said, I can tray flip and stuff, but I feel really not good about it.
I'd imagine it feels stiff because you got this like straight rod.
Well, look, let me see. I don't know if you can see it, right?
I don't know. The camera's right there.
Yeah, here. You could probably see
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah, there's 5 screws and a rod in there.
Jeez.
And there's some over here and here, but
I'd recommend taking it out, because where kind of yours is same with my arm. I can't get I don't want to pay for it, but to get the hardware out now, because I've got the plate and like 12 screws and then screws through here holding this. Damn. And this shit hurts. I mean, when weather comes around, cold,
that's what everybody tells me, cold.
Oh, wow.
Banging it on a wall. I mean, because there's no meat there, you know?
Yeah.
Same with there,
Same
right on
with there.
side.
When you went through the airport for your vacation,
Everybody told me it would get, but I didn't. I told them, I told them, I was like, I got metal in my leg. They're like, all right, cool. I was like, I thought I needed to tell you guys. They looked at me like an idiot. They're like, great. Dude.
Oh, I
cool.
hear this all day long.
So was that your first major injury in your?
Yeah, my whole time. I broke my foot before when I was like 13, but like not bad. I think I tore ligaments, and the ligaments took little pieces of bone with them.
Okay.
On the crim hip.
Yes.
Yeah. That thing's not. The crim hip is the weirdest hip. Like, just to figure out the path you need to take and the speed and all.
Broke my hand on it.
I used to be able to boost out that thing. Boost out of it. That was my shit.
You were a backside grab guy.
Yeah,
right?
backside grabs for days.
Flying.
Then I kicked out and landed on top of my wheels. The board landed upside down, and I landed on the wheels.
Oh,
There was no way out of it.
no.
Hey, I got a question. How many times did it take you tries to ollie the gap at Mercy?
That was everybody's asking me like, dude, that
gap's gnarly,
it
bro.
wasn't bad. But the only thing is, it lands uphill.
Wait, can we specify which gap it is?
It's the end.
So when you pull up to, you know, that 4-way stop before you get to that turn to Mercy? It's not that gap, the one, that first one?
Yeah, but not like, so not at the 4-way stop, but it's that same wall. So if you were to take a left, right before, it's maybe, I don't know, 50 feet from there. There's a corner, right?
Right when you start taking that turn?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
wasn't that big. You know those, dude, I don't know why nobody skates it anymore, Coy and you guys, dude. Those gaps, so like, they have barriers on them now, but it's still very like clearable. In the back parking lot of Mercy by the parking garage and stuff.
I've seen that one.
I was there like a couple weeks back and I looked at it.
I've ollied that one.
They didn't used to have the barriers there. Now they have like guardrails, but like it's still very skatable. Yeah, it's even like sicker now that the guardrails there.
What
like
was
a
the
field
line
too.
that you did in the Johnny's video? You did it back there. It was sick, dude.
Yeah,
What
it was a little like shove it and then power slide and then switch 180.
That's what I remember was the power slide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. And then what's another one? What I had my eye on just now before I hurt myself was at View 202. At View 2. So there's a couple, so like there's a
Yeah, the parking lot.
parking lot to parking lot in the front, like at the parking spaces there's a fence.
Yeah.
I
and
think
it's-
you've ollied that before.
No,
actually.
but I would go to eat there and I'd like get out of the car and be looking at it and my wife would be like, "What are you fucking staring at?" I'm like, "Stop." Like,
What was that
It
clip?
got a long time ago.
There's
Did
a
it?
clip
Yeah.
there's a clip I've seen over there, over like a bush. It's I believe it's over there. Was
yeah,
it
it's
you
like
or
next
Jack?
door.
Somebody
It was like
ollied
Josh or somebody.
Oh,
yeah,
Josh.
yeah. They call that like it was just this really tall thing with no runway and just killing your knees.
Was that Goliath?
Goliath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that view. So the View 202 gap over the bush and the rail at
Yeah.
the parking lot. If you stand there and you look on the left side where it's a weird little runway. The bushes are overgrown, but if you shave the bushes back, you've got a runway like this wide.
Yeah.
Ollie onto a square rail that's this tall. You can grind all the way off of that and then off the drop.
Jeez.
It's crazy.
I
Sounds
just
gnarly.
wanted, I just wanted
It's
to
crazy.
ollie it, but you guys could, dude.
But
All right,
he beat
Coy.
You're not. I mean, you're not much. You hook, but like you're not trying to kill yourself. But it's still as sick.
It's been a minute.
Koi's so
Coy's
good.
down to do it. He's always like the Verizon gap. That
Yeah.
one is huge.
That was battle. My body was done for like 3 days.
So
Koi, you kill it. I'm
I'm inspired
always.
by the older generation.
Yeah.
So that's why it's all I seen coming up. So
But you're a different. So you have your own style and you have your own bag of tricks. That's what makes you stand out. Of course, even if you didn't, your shit is very, very. You're very sure of yourself and solid in your tricks, and you're just super clean and consistent. But your bag, bro, you have a different bag,
yeah.
and that's like what's really like.
that's cool about skating though.
Yeah. You could play somebody's skate. You could probably beat everybody that's conventional because your whole bag is different.
It's infinite.
But it's all like different. Who's doing fakey inward heels like they're. I thought it was Nolly,
Yeah.
and who's catching them like that? Nobody, dude. The consistency. I don't know, bro. Props to you. I always share your shit with Jack. I'm always
Appreciate
just,
it.
bro.
Talking about that, I remember you commented. I posted a clip of myself. I tray flipped the Market Street gap over the U-rail thing, and that was like the first time you commented on any of my tricks. You're like, "Man, this boy knows how to flip" or something like that. I forget what the exact comment was, but I was super stoked.
I see it. I see it all. I'm immersed, bro. Even if it's from like afar, I'm immersed in the whole thing, and I try to like share it all with Jack because that was my counterpart, right? So even though he's far away, I'm just like, look at this, and Zach, and you know what, bro? If I'm 100% real, I'll say it right here on camera. Zach remembers me. I don't remember Zach. He was a sleeper. So I remember Johnny, like no other, right? Johnny was around. I've known Johnny for days. I actually went. Funny story about Johnny Scribner, if we have time.
We got time.
I went to this girl that I was friends with in high school. Her dad was an OG skater, right? had like GNS boards up in his house, and so like, and I was like, decent at this time, so I think he let me be around. His daughter was, she was pretty, right? And I was like kind of crushed on her a little bit, but I think me and her dad were cool from skating, and she had little brothers. Her little brothers were friends with Johnny Scribner, so we went to Marine World. Now it's Six Flags, whatever, in Vallejo, So Johnny came with her little brothers. I went with her, and this is when I'm like 17, 16. So Johnny was like 9.
Young, yeah, super young.
Or like maybe like 12. But he was a little kid, right? He was a child. And then, so of course, because her dad skated, we went to a skate park. We went to the Vallejo skate park, and Johnny was young, couldn't do nothing. So like, and he'll attest to this too. He talks about it to me still. I taught Johnny was like working on just dropping in. So there was like a 3-foot quarter, and I taught him how to drop in like, I don't know, like in a half hour, one day, an hour. And then I was good enough to where I was like ollie gaps, and I could really like, I remember being able to skate, and I had these little kids with me, and then Johnny, like, I don't know what it was, but he wanted to learn, so I taught him how to drop in. And then now look at Johnny.
Look at him.
So like, I have like a hand in that.
Wow.
Front tail from flat.
Slaying.
And he just kind of like would show up at the park and be around. And so so bottom line, bro, I love seeing it. Johnny's so good. And I try to tell Jack, I'm like, the first time I saw Zach skate in person, that fool just fucks around, dude. And it just blows your mind.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Nonchalant,
like he's not even serious. And which is what Jack used to do. So I'm trying to get him to, I just like want him to see. But Zach's good, dude. Yeah. They're both good. It's just great, dude. It like skipped a generation. We didn't have a lot of, it kind of died around here, didn't it?
Slowly, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, but what's up with Reading and good skateboarders?
That's what I'm saying.
It's gnarly
Random.
fucking skateboarders.
But and you guys have another opportunity now with Instagram, bro. We used to be isolated. Yeah. How are we gonna get our hands on any, like, bro? And then we got these pros coming up here. We got all these
more traffic coming in.
Yeah, dude. The only thing I ever saw growing up, we had the America team come to the park one day, but it was like heavy. It was like when the America team was heavy, like Andrew Reynolds, Leo Romero, Braden Safransky, Jerry Sue. Who else, dude? Brian Herman.
Spanky?
I don't know if Spanky was there at the time, but Figgy, when Figgy was young. All of them, but not on some like demo shit. They were on Shasta Lake on a tour on their day off and just decided to like stop by. So they weren't there to like put on a show. They were there to kind of kick it. And I got to watch like Andrew Reynolds and Brian Herman play skate on our basketball court on just some low key shit, like just between them. Yeah. It was the wildest shit I've ever seen.
Nice. I want to bring up something you mentioned earlier. Chris O'Connell?
Yeah.
You said you guys were working on the NBHS video, and you said he has clips that have not been posted yet. Was there any clips that were like significant to you to where like you wish were posted?
I had a lot of good stuff all on his camera, and a lot of it didn't get out. Maybe not like significant in terms of, well, we have all of our the court 10 rail. We used to kill that shit, dude.
There's a couple clips of that on YouTube right now. Was there anything that wasn't posted that you were like super stoked on?
I just front Smith 50 and lit, but like I have lines and runs and stuff that I was really proud of, stuff that I can't do anymore that I would have liked to see the light. We just have hours of footage, dude. So much footage, and I wish, I don't even know if he has it anymore. Maybe it's still there, like, but I would love to see some of that stuff.
Did you ever hit the 15?
No. I did the biggest handrail I ever did, or stair set was the CV, and then the handrail was the 12 stair in Red Bluff rest
Cottonwood?
stop.
Red Bluff.
Cottonwood, Red Bluff, that rest stop. I just kind of like started partying too much, bro. There was a lot more to be written in that book, dude,
Yeah.
That I just didn't really like get a chance to do. Yeah. That could have been done. That I knew I could have did. For like, I remember when things really kind of started slowing down, like my tray flips were getting real consistent, kind of like hoist. Like I could throw it off some big stuff, and it was almost like a first try trick, if not first, second try. Like to this day, I mean, I don't think I'll ever lose that trick, but not off of stuff like I had it. It was almost like I became more comfortable with those than kick flips.
No, tray flip's like almost easier.
It just goes, yeah.
Yeah, and I just knew, I just had it. It was almost like I did them different down stuff too. It would flip slower, and it was a consistent one, bro. Man, I feel like I don't know what else to cover, man. I hope this was good, dude. I've never done nothing like this.
It was great. It went by quick.
Yeah.
I'm actually excited to watch the fights. Hopefully we can. Were you interested in the fights today? It was like
what time is it?
Gervonta Davis against Ryan Garcia. So
I got a little time. My wife wants to go out and
watch it or something.
No, with her coworkers. It's one of them's. So she was like, "What time is your podcast gonna be over?" And I was like, "Oh, fucking
I don't know."
Still watch the kids.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, Ray's not here, but I think we're gonna close it out. I think it's perfect timing. You guys seen Ray? He said peace out last time, but Koi's here. But all right, everybody, thanks for watching this episode. Oh, there's Ray.
Oh shit, dude.
Ray has something to say, man.
Oh, I gotta sign off with my homie, dude.
Yeah, you gotta sign off. All right, everybody, thanks for watching this episode. It was a great one. We got to learn more about Tyler.
Bro.
I
love seeing the great man that you've become, man, in life.
Bro.
I'm super proud of you.
I want you to know, though,
Stoked to
you've
be
had a
here.
hand in it, Ray. You've been an influence, dude.
all grown up.
Bro.
This is crazy. Any last words, Ray? Anything you want to tell the people? Shout out Ray's Board Shop or something.
There's a place called Ray's Board Shop. It's pretty cool. If you could go in there, we'd appreciate it. Ray would say thank you, and shout out these guys right here.
Yeah.
For sure. The podcast, Munch Gang, shout them out. I think I'm going to try to run a little sponsorship soon.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah?
we could do
Yeah,
a collab.
From what I hear, I think Munch Gang would appreciate something like that.
And yeah, and all love, Tyler, dude. I'm stoked for you, man.
Yeah, hey,
So
thank you guys
pumped.
for having me, too, man. This was great.
Yep. All right,
great.
guys. Hope you like that steam bun, and thanks for watching this episode. Peace. Beautiful.
I feel like I was awkward the whole time, bro.